Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here. Welcome to another NIKKE video. So today we're going to take a deep dive into the new T9 equipment manufacturer selection box. Right, I've received a lot of messages with regards to, is this worth it? And if I bought it, who should I give this gear to? Which unit benefits the most? And what substats should I be re-rolling? Of course, this video is going to be broken down to several sections. We'll talk about the pack in general, okay, and then we'll talk about the overload gear. So even the beginners or mid-game players, they'll understand why our T9 equipment manufacturer gear is so important. And then we'll talk about the breakdown. All right. Good. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, in the newest patch, we have a equipment selection box. Okay. This is the T9 company equipment, and you can buy in the cash shop for the price of $99.99. God damn, it's a very expensive, but I expect it to be at this price because they used to sell a T9 regular piece of gear for the same price. So of course the Selector is going to be a bit more expensive. So with that price tag, it's not going to be essentially a pack that I think most people will buy. All right, it's going to be the whales that want to skip this layer of RNG. However, I want to talk about why I think having this is important. Okay, for the free-to-play players, in the patch notes previous to this upgrade, ShiftUp talked about they're going to introduce a new device which allows people to get T9 equipments easier. And I think this is not what they meant, in the sense that it's just going to be a paid package every banner or every event or so. I don't think this is what they meant, okay? By adding this T9 equipment manufacturer selection box, it opens the way to allow you to have a pity system for, I would say, special interception. So every time you clear or do stage 7, 8 or something like that, you work towards a gauge, all right? And as soon as you fill that gauge, I'm hoping they'll give you a T9 selection box, all right? I'm hoping this is why they have this system and not just as a paid option only. I may be on copium, but we'll have to see, because in the patch note they did say that they're going to introduce a new device allowing people to get it easier, right? And hopefully this is what they mean by having some form of pity and then allowing people to use the selection box as a selector. Okay, so for the non-free-to-play players, is this worth it? Personally, for me, I think the only people that are going to buy it is the only people that want to skip this layer of RNG. So if you were like me, I was clearing special interception for, I would say, 2 months without a single pilgrim attacker gear drop, right? 2 months. So if this pack was available, I would buy instantly. Now I have 3 pieces. I still bought it because, you know, I'm not the, well, to put it simply, I'm a whale. Okay, so if you're looking to spend money, if you're impatient or if you want to skip the layers of RNG special interception is causing you or putting you through, then this is worth it for sure, because you can select any faction and you can select any slot. It's quite important actually. If you're going to a very competitive environment, whether it be PvP or Union Raid, that piece of overload gear is very, very big in terms of impact. And speaking of impact, who should you put this on, right? So right off the bat, I think the most obvious answer is Pilgrims. You can put it on Scarlet and you can put it on Modernia. You can see I have 1 on Scarlet and 2 on Modernia. However, the other person you shouldn't be sleeping on, or rather people, 1, Snow White, very, very strong. 2, Alice. Alice is probably the highest non-pilgrim damaging unit. All right, she probably does more in certain circumstances than Modernia and Scarlet. So Alice is extremely, extremely strong. And which substat should you go for these really strong units? Well, let's show you a website. So this is NIKKE.gg, and thank you to the owner of the website that contacted me. Essentially, they have listed out a guide with regards to what you should prioritize for your overload gears in terms of the substats as you reroll. So you can see that, for example, Alice, max ammo capacity, very important. And personally for me, increase charge speed. Okay, you need to grab at least 1. 1 is needed. Okay, very, very important. And of course, you can look at Modernia and whatnot. You want 4 times the max ammo, which I'm working towards too as well. So I'll leave a link down in the description. You can take a look, and they provide some explanation as well as to why you should choose that. Okay, and in terms of the slots, if you are equipping your damage dealers with the gear, you can see that not all gears are created equal. The helm gives a lot of HP and a lot of attack. Attack, in terms of the arm slot, is just under helm. And then you can see the chest piece gives a lot of HP, more so than helm, but less attack. And then this is more of a defensive thing, but we all know the defensive formula kind of sucks. So my priority, and since we're saying that give your best attacker, right, the piece, my priority is helmet. And then you can choose either between, you know, the vest or the arm piece. But priority is helmet. Okay. And why is the T9 equipment for manufacturing so important, you may ask, if you're a mid-game or early game player. Essentially, when you are reaching that level and you're farming these special interceptions at, I believe, the full clear rate, it will drop this custom module, or we just call it the blue gems, right? And when you upgrade a manufacturing gear to the max level, which is level 5, then what you can do, all right, is bind it. You can bind it and it becomes an overload gear. So you can no longer take this off. Okay, you can no longer take this off of you. But now it'll give even higher stats than, you know, your normal T9 gear. And then you can also get substats. I've got a separate video on this, so I suggest you take a chance to watch if you can. But essentially, it allows you to get those substats that are in addition to what the attack and defense provides, which is insane. All right, because for example, Modernia with a hit rate substat allows you to gain this attack buff, giant leap attack buff, 30%, because it has hit rate all the time. So you don't have to run a hit rate cube, and you can run something like a bastion cube. So very, very important. All right, and that's why I think personally, this, for the whales that are looking to skip layers and layers of RNG, I would buy this pack. Probably, you know, if this was a pack that came up every single event, I would keep buying it for the next, I would say, like 10 events or something. So hopefully this answers your questions about who you should pick, which slot you should pick, which manufacturer you should pick. And I would say the most important part is, if you're not sure, wait. Because, for example, I'm not using this because there's no need for me to open this until Union Raid is here, for example, right? If I need that big power boost. So I would be farming special interception. I could be getting, you know, all of the pieces for my pilgrims, copium. I could be getting all of the pieces for my Snow White. And now I don't need any more pilgrim attacker set. Then I would actually pick Tetra for Alice. So the best way, if you're not in a rush to get a power boost, if this is not your first manufacturing gear and you're full clearing all the special interceptions, then you can hold this and wait. That would be the smartest decision in my opinion. But anyhow, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, it's TimaeuSS here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye now.